I remember going home, and I didn't expect to experience this, but I had a lot of people who asked me why I came home. They, having a concussion, I didn't have like any like a mask or a tape on my head or something. Like something that would signify like if someone comes home with a broken leg, it's kind of obvious, versus that. And so for me, it was really hard because a lot of people asked me like, oh, was it in the church, a lot of people sometimes will think if it's unworthiness, like they didn't fix something before their mission. And for me, that was something I didn't expect to experience. But I did feel those feelings of like, well, why is people thinking that? Like they wouldn't believe me. I had some people who didn't believe me when I said, oh, I just got injured, and they're like, oh, like we knew you had a girlfriend before your mission. Did something happen there, And I just remember thinking like, no, like you guys have known me my whole life, like for 20 years now, like you know what I mean? Like it's like I was like, and I remember feeling a little hurt, but I remember at that point, because I know a lot of people, I've had some friends who come home from missions for various reasons, but I remember I think people who go home early definitely feel a lot of that stress and those fears and concerns, and I feel that for myself, I felt that too, but the thing that helped me through that experience of 3 months, because I did even feel, even after I prayed to know if I should go back out. When they're like, hey, you can go back out, I'm like, yeah, okay, thank you, Heavenly Father. But I honestly did still have concerns and doubts about going to a different mission and stuff, and if I'd ever fully recover. And um, I remember through that experience, it helped me come to just really rely on the Lord, to rely on the fact that He can, if He says He can do anything, if He can heal you, no matter what it is, that He can, and that all the feelings I felt of being offended or hurt or um, just afraid or and everything, and angry at people for thinking those kind of thoughts, or maybe me just like thinking of those, like, oh, how dare they think that. But for me to be able to work through that with my Heavenly Father, He was able to help me through that experience, like through that time, that so when I went out again, I wasn't mad at anyone, or I wasn't like, oh, like I'm gonna prove them wrong, like, oh, like I didn't want people to think I just went out just to reprove myself. But my advice is for people who go home early is um, that Heavenly Father is there to help you. That's definitely a time for you to still turn to the Lord and to know you're not alone.